Today is the 7th of March. So, Abdulmurad Fasilbek, Aktamova, Ishniyazova, Fazilova, Maprakulova, Haydarova, Imamova, Israilova, Jurakulova, Muhammadiyeva, Normatova, Odilova, Saitova, Zindarova, Zainetdinova, Rustamova, Sadullayeva, here, Hudaynazarova, here, Yuldasheva, here, Babakulov, nice. Today is a similar lesson. What you studied on the lecture for history of language? Is Germanic languages. Nice. Let me introduce this scene for today. Imagine a world where Gothic, Vandalic, and Burgundian are still spoken. Once thriving, these East Germanic languages have disappeared, leaving behind only fragments. Today we will explore their rise, influence, and decline, and what their story teaches us about language survival. The rise of East Germanic languages. The East Germanic tribes, Goths, Vandals, Burgundians, and Gepids, originated in the northern Europe but migrated across the continent. The most well-documented language of this group is Gothic, preserved in the 16th century Codex Argenteus, the earliest substantial text in any Germanic language. Other East Germanic languages, like Vandalic and Burgundian, left only a few words and names behind. The fall and disappearance. Why did this language vanish? Assimilation. Gothic-speaking kingdoms in Italy and Spain adopted Latin, while Vandals and North Africa were absorbed by the Byzantine Empire. No stable homeland. Unlike English or German, these languages had no strong regional base. This surfaced the fall of Gothic kingdoms. The Visigoths and Ostrogoths were conquered, accelerating the decline of their language. By the 8th century, East Germanic languages have mostly disappeared, so some Gothic dialects reportedly survives in Crimea until the 18th century. Why do these matter? Studying East Germanic languages helps us understand the early development of Germanic languages, like English and German, recognize their historical impact on Europe, learn the importance of language preservation, as many minority languages face extinction today. So, the East Germanic languages are gone, their influence remains, their disappearance reminds us that languages must be spoken and passed down to survive. Let's value and preserve the languages they have today before they do fade into history. It was a great description of East Germanic languages. But now it's your turn to answer for today's scene. Who will begin? You may.
So today's presentation called East Germanic Languages, the journey to the past. East Germanic languages, all East Germanic languages were wiped out. People used to speak Kazakh, but this language is not used anymore. Germanic languages range of Indo-European languages, and scholars often divide it into three groups. West Germanic, including English, German, North Germanic, including Danish, Swedish, and we learn about today's East Germanic. As an earlier teacher, our teacher mentioned, it is not extinct anymore. Gothic and language of the Vandals, Burgundians, and a few other tribes. East Germanic languages were spoken many centuries ago. We know it is very ancient languages. Today they are extinct. No one speaks them anymore. The most famous one was Gothic. In the map, you can see where were they spoken. These languages were used in Eastern and Central Europe here, and the Goths, Vandals, and Burgundians spoke them. The Goths traveled from Scandinavia to Italy and Spain.
Gothic is the best known East Germanic language. The Bible was translated in Gothic into 1st century by Bishop Bultula. Some Gothic words are similar to English and German. Some words from Gothic still exist in modern language, and many Germanic languages like English, German, and Swedish have similarities, and history and culture of these Germanic tribes are still studied today. East Germanic language disappeared, but their influence remains, and Gothic is the most relevant managed language. Studying them help us understand ancient cultures.
We have some layers of tests related to our
Yes.
presentation.
What you prepared today for the lesson?
Questions about the East Germanic languages.
Nice. How many minutes they should take for this task? Yes, you may.
Did the East Germanic language influence modern language? Yes, of course, especially Gothic language with a translation of Bible. And most of Gothic languages nowadays are the same with English and German.
Yes, we answer. Yes, you may. If you are ready, you may.
Which is the most well-known East Germanic languages? Definitely Gothic languages.
Good. Who else ready? You may raise your hands if you are ready. Then, yes, you may.
Apparently, East Germanic languages are extinct. The East Germanic languages are extinct in centuries.
Nice. Who else? Yes, you may.
Other and East Germanic language spoken today, and now there are no East Germanic language spoken today, and the most known East Germanic language is Ukrainian. Ukrainian was similarly very extinct in 18th or early 19th century.
Thank you. What about you, if you are ready?
Where did the speakers of East Germanic language originally live? The speakers of East Germanic language, such as Goths, Burgundians, and Davids, are believed to live in some part of Scandinavia in modern day, and some part of Baltic Sea, and some part of Poland in modern days.
Wonderful. Your answer?
Which language has similarities in Swedish vocabulary? English language shares vocabulary with German and French. For example, summer and Sunday.
Some. Who else? Yes, you may. If you are ready.
What is the most famous text written in cursive? Codex Argentinius is the most famous text in
Codex.
This is the most famous text in cursive in the 16th century. It is essential for understanding the language.
Yes. You answer.
When did the Old English change into Middle English? The Old English gradually changed into the Middle English in the 11th and 12th century.
Yes. If you are ready, you may answer.
What are the difference between English spelling and pronunciation of that? First of all, English spelling caused this difference and spelling and pronunciation in 14th and 17th centuries. Second, Greek vowel shift changed pronunciation and spelling. For example, beat, word beat, spelling beat, and word meat, spelling meat.
Yes. Yes, you may, Irona.
What is the Gothic language? The Gothic language is the Germanic language that was spoken by Germanic tribes and Goths. Also, a major group of Germanic tribes spoke this language during the Roman Empire in the
Good. Yes, you may.
What are the East Germanic languages? East Germanic languages were a branch of Germanic languages which were mainly spoken in Central and East Europe, eastern parts of Europe. They are now extinct, but some of the languages we have some information about. For example, Gothic languages, which is the best documented East Germanic language, and we have Crimean Gothic, Burgundian, which were spoken by Burgunds, which lived in parts of modern day France. And we have also Gipteric, which we don't know much about.
Thank you for your answer. You may take your seat. Who is ready else? Yes, you may.
How are the East Germanic languages different from West and North Germanic languages? The East Germanic language is separate from West and North Germanic languages. They have different phonetics and grammatical features.
You.